Hi, I'm Mariko Rowe with Bodyworks Alignment Therapy. In today's video, we are going to be talking about upper body repatterning. So that means from your iliac crest, your hip bones right here, up through your neck. Like I've said in the previous videos, we have to really focus on opposing muscle forces. So when we're like this, we need to open the front so that the back isn't screaming at us because it's overstretched. I'm gonna be repeating this a lot because it's incredibly important, okay? So the point of this repatterning is to help with back problems, maybe even breath problems like through your rib cage, and even like tightness in your chest. Again, we're talking about fascial tissue issues. This isn't any underlying symptoms or maybe some organ problems, things like that. We're just talking myofascial system, okay? Especially if you work at a desk because, oh my gosh, it's so easy to do this, right? Oh, I hate that. Oh, okay. So first we're gonna start with side stretches, okay? So the side stretches are really important. So we have this fascial system that runs along the side, and we have this hinge right through here. So we hinge forward at the hip, and when we're tight through here, it's going to make it so that we can't operate appropriately. Like when we go to turn, it hurts because it's so tight through here, like it won't allow the pelvis and the rib cage to operate separately, which is what they're supposed to do. And then therefore the vertebrae can't operate how they're supposed to. And then the intercostal muscles, like the muscles in between your rib cage, they can't operate how they're supposed to. I mean, it goes on, and we could get into that, but we won't right now. Okay, so side stretch is super duper important. My favorite way to do it is sitting cross-legged. Okay, when you go down, I want your forearm to plant on the ground. So actually, let me show you this way. Okay, so you're gonna plant on the ground. You can do this with your legs forward if you want to. I prefer the cross-legged. Okay, so when you breathe in, you're gonna, and then exhale. Okay, now I'm gonna show you cross-legged and what that looks like for me anyway, and hopefully you can replicate it as close as possible. Okay, so you're gonna breathe in. Now, what a lot of people tend to do is this, because their body is so used to being twisted and contorted, this will be the automatic reaction. I want you pulling because I want a stretch through here and possibly even to your knee, depending on how tight you are. If you're moving forward, you're just stretching your back, which is what the opposite of what we're trying to do. We want to stretch the side so that the back can relax and it doesn't have to pull forward, okay? So, play with your head and your neck at position. So if I'm down here, that kind of hurts, but it feels like it's a good stretch. That doesn't feel like as good of a stretch, so I'm gonna come back here. And then I'm gonna constantly be checking my posture. Is my knee up? No, I'm good there. Am I rotated? Slightly, I could come back some more. My arm feels like it's resting, it's not like hanging out up here. I'm feeling the stretch in my rib cage, definitely close to my shoulder blade. Okay, so I'm doing pretty good. Okay, deep breath in. And then next side. Now when you get into it, check your posture. And then go through that rotation several times. I like to do this like 2 or 3 times. So initially what I'll do is I'll hang out like I did in the beginning, like a longer stretch. And then when I feel like things are moving, then I'll do this like dance, kind of make it fun. And then I feel very fluid and very open. And then I'll end with moving the shoulder blades, getting those working really well, okay? So that is the side stretch. Okay, this next stretch requires an exercise ball or something like it. You can use your bed if you want to and hang off of it. But I strongly suggest just spending, I think like 15, 20 bucks, somewhere around there, to get an exercise ball, because it opens up everything from your hip flexors down through here, your abdominals, your rib cage, your sternum, your chest, these really tight muscles that we get through here that keep rotating us internally. It stretches those. This is just honestly the best way that I have been able to find to stretch all of these in a really simple, easy, and very supported way. So I'm gonna get into position here. Okay, I'm going to make it so you guys can see the whole thing. Let's start out with that. Okay, so see how where my back is? Okay, it's pretty supported through here. I'm gonna get my feet flat though. There we go. Then I'm gonna take, before I go all the way down, I'm gonna take a deep breath in, and then I'm gonna go down and exhale. So listen for that. Okay, so. Okay, now a couple of things with this stretch. You can have your hands separate. I like to have them together because I can pull and I can get these muscles through here in my pecs a little bit better. Or you can have them bent, like whatever feels supported for you and what gives you the most comfort and a better stretch. So deep breath again. And my head and neck are completely resting on the ball right now. And if you're feeling like you need to get a side stretch here, just kind of shimmy your upper body, pull the arm over that's farthest away. And then do the other side. Now you're not moving your lower body at all. This is just movement in the upper body while you're doing this. And then always end straight up and down. And if you want to, you can extend your leg. You can do this in all sorts of ways because your spine is incredibly supported. Okay, and when you're coming out, deep breath in. And then you just roll up like this. Okay? And that is it for the ball stretch. Now we're gonna work on neck stretches. So people typically have issues with their neck, like through the side, like through here, and then in the back of their neck is where I find that most people experience a lot of pain and frustration and tightness. Again, these opposing muscle forces of the neck, right? So most people, here, and I'll show you from a side angle. Most people are like this throughout the day. Am I getting that right? Yeah, okay. So ideally what I want is for your ear hole and your shoulders to line up as much as possible. So better posture would be from this angle instead of here, if that makes sense, okay? So what's happening is the back of the neck is getting really overstretched. And then if we do things like we're looking to the left, I actually tend to look more to the right. My head just naturally goes there. So if I'm relaxed, this is me in a relaxed position. If you can notice, okay, the distance between my chin to my ear and then to the nape of my neck, it tends to go to my right more. This is straighter, okay? It's subtle, but it matters, okay? So if you notice that you tend to look to one way or the other more, which I guarantee you do, try to look the other way a little bit more. Because what's happening is my right side is getting compressed, my left side is getting overstretched, and my left side hurts significantly worse than my right side. Again, because this is tight tissue, it's not gonna scream as much or as hard as the elongated tissue is going to, okay? So figure out if you are more forward, if you're more rotated, like where is this coming from, and then play to that. So we're gonna play to what I do so that you can get an idea of how to do this. So if I go here more, I'm going to stretch my left side first. I don't feel much of a stretch with the side, so I'm gonna rotate my chin. Oh my gosh, that hurts and feels amazing. And I'm relaxing my jaw, I'm letting it drop. My shoulders are relaxed. And then I'm gonna find, oh, yep, if I tilt up a little bit more, all my tightness is coming from here. When I go down, that feels like nothing as far as a stretch goes. So clearly my issue is through here because that's where it hurts the most. Shoulders relaxed. And then I'm feeling like I need to get this through here. And then I'm gonna stretch my tight side. So it's important, right, to get the loose side, the elongated, I should say, side stretched out first because it's always stretched, and then end with stretching the compressed side. So, oh my gosh, that is so tight. Like this is a crazy stretch for me right now. It's not good. Clearly I need to work on this more. Okay, so as you can see, when I was stretching out my left side, I could get crazy good range of motion. Like I could kind of get everywhere and it was just fine. Here, that is my max. And this is my max through here. Okay, so deep breath in. And honestly, it doesn't even feel like a big stretch. It just feels like it won't move. So even if you're feeling like, hey, this isn't stretching this at all, but it hurts and it won't move, just hang out here until it loosens up until you get to the stretch. Let's go up. I want to see if I pull just gently. It's not like a big tug, you know. And then if I move my arm is out here, maybe that'll help. That feels better. And I'm pulling my shoulder down. I'm not letting it go up here. Pulling down. Now I can get into that, and it's making it so I don't feel like I have to protect it quite as much. And I can open that up. Okay, now I'm feeling like through my back, the back of my neck, it's pretty tight, like through this section through here, and it's pulling. So I'm just gonna rotate my head a little bit. Oh, that feels so good. We're getting to where I need to be. Okay, so the key with this is you need to really feel it. I mean, with every stretch that you do, you need to really feel it, really tap into your body. But when it comes to the neck especially, I mean, we have so much rotation. It's crazy the things that we can do and the little nuances of everywhere we can look and all those things. So the key is to figure out where you tend to be. See, like I'm even still like rotating more this way. Turn left, Mariko. Anyway, so the key is to figure out where your rotation typically is, where your tightest side typically is, and then play to that and really figure that out. Not the side that hurts when you're normal, right? It's the side that hurts when you're stretching. And don't pull hard. I'm not pulling hard. I'm just kind of resting and giving a little bit of weight. That's it. Okay? And that is it for the neck stretch. Now I'm going to show you how to release your upper back, like along your shoulder blades and in between your shoulder blades with the tennis ball. Like everything else we do and talk about, this action, right? It causes the muscles in between your shoulder blades to overstretch. Then it creates knots, and then they scream and yell at you when the problem is really like from the front. So the sternum, the chest, And then these trap muscles, like right through here, they get rotated forward. So while I am going to show you how to release your back and around your shoulder blade, the most important part is getting your chest to release and to open. Okay, so first let's start off with the shoulder blade, because remember we stretched the compressed areas first, and then, or excuse me, we stretched the elongated areas first and then the compressed areas. Okay. All right, so you are going to be laying on your back, or you can go up against a wall with this, either one, that's totally fine. Okay, you're going to find the spot. So this is at the top of my shoulder blade, okay? And that's a pretty good knot I have right there. So see my shoulders rotated forward just a little bit. I'm gonna make sure that it's pulled back as far as it can be when I'm laying down, especially when you're laying down, because it's gonna hurt. So you're automatically gonna wanna go like this. You need to be in a space where you can relax into it, okay? If you're protecting, you need to put yourself on a softer surface, maybe your bed or the floor. If you're, lay on your bed if you need a softer surface. If it's still too difficult for you to relax when you're on your bed, put a towel over the ball, like do what you can to bolster it so that, or to make it more comfortable and soft for you so that you can completely relax into it so you're not like this, okay? So you're gonna find that spot, you're gonna rest and breathe your arm out or in, depending on what makes you feel better, okay? And then you're just gonna go down all through your shoulder blade. What a lot of people do is they'll find one spot and then they'll just like go up and down with it. They'll, and then move their body like this. So you're only on this shoulder, right? I only want this shoulder to move. So you're gonna be here. See that rotation that I'm doing? Okay, and then forward. If I go here and then maybe there, find all the little different tiny movements that is gonna hurt it worse because you're trying to release some tissue. It's gonna be a little painful, but also that hurt feel good. Okay, those are like the super key things with this. I don't want upper body movement like through here or big rotations. I want little finite tiny movements, trying to figure out, okay, if I go here and then here and then here, oh yeah, that feels good. I want you to play with it in that regard. So you're gonna start at the very top of your shoulder blade. So you're gonna go like right off to the edge of the bone, and then you're gonna roll down through, all through here, okay? I don't want that forward rotation when you're doing this, okay? I just did that to show you. You're gonna wanna be pulled back. Maybe when you get down through here, about midway, you're gonna need to like raise up your arm or move backwards a little bit, okay, to get that angle in even more. If you move forward, it's not gonna get those tiny little finite rotations that does. So hopefully that was informative enough without me actually being on my back, because you couldn't see it anyway, so what's the point? Okay, now we're gonna do the front, the sternum and the chest, okay? So take the ball and you're gonna find your xiphoid process, which is this bone that kind of like goes into this space right through here. You're gonna go right above it, okay? So you're on your sternum. So I'm gonna press here. Okay, this hand is just support. This hand is pushing in hard, okay? My back is up against the wall, so I'm completely supported. I can rest everywhere. I feel like I'm not getting quite as much support, so instead of the ball being like through here, I'm gonna move it more here so I can get a little more depth. That feels better. So if I'm doing this properly, my hand and my forearm are working, but nothing else really is. And then roll up. And then continue that all the way up to just below this notch right through here. Okay, and then you'll get on like the side of your sternum, like right through here. Okay, oh man, that's a good spot. Okay, so I've got the ball supported by my hand. Notice how my shoulder, the shoulder went backwards, okay? So if I'm doing this properly, I'm relaxing the pec that I'm working on. So if I'm also doing this properly, my hand and forearm are the only things working. If my pec was being activated and I was using my shoulder would be up here. And if you're doing a contraction while trying to release something, that is basically useless. Like you're wasting your time and your energy. So make sure you're completely relaxed. So when I find a good spot, I pull with this hand, not with this shoulder. It's not doing this action. This hand is creating that rotation, and that will activate your pecs a little bit, but it shouldn't be too much so that it can't activate a release, okay? And then you'll go all the way out to your shoulder, and then you'll do it to the opposite side, okay? So go through the back line first, go through the shoulder blades, and then go up, and then go out, okay? All right, next I'm gonna show you how to unwind your neck using a heat pack. So something like this, or it can be a square. I mean, if you have something like this at home, just use whatever you have available. It doesn't have to be this long one, but this is just kind of what I prefer for this. I got this at Smith's Marketplace if you don't have one of these in the beauty department. So what you're gonna do is stick this in the microwave, and when you stick it in the microwave, make sure that the beads are fairly evenly distributed so that it can heat them all up evenly. I like to put mine in for 2 to 4 minutes. 4 minutes is when, life is really bad and I need that super duper heat. And then when you get it out of the microwave, just try to get all of the beans or rice or whatever is in there a little even. So you see how that's pretty even on both sides, right through there, okay? And then you're gonna lay down, no pillow. You can do it on your bed, on the floor, whatever, I don't care, but just no pillow, okay? And then you're gonna put it right at the base of your skull and lay down flat, okay? So it's not here, it's at the base of your skull. That's important because we have these muscles called your occipitals, and they are our swiveling muscles for our neck and our head. So if you get those to release, that will help your head, the bones in your cranium to release, and it will help your C1 and C2 to release, your atlas and your axis. And hopefully that helps the rest of your spine release and the rest of those tissues to release. I'll lay on that, again, flat on your back, no pillow, just that for support, for anywhere from like 10 minutes to an hour, depending on how tricky my neck has been, how bad the headaches are, how bad the tightness is, all those kinds of things. So I hope that explains that pretty well. Okay, next we're gonna do a door jamb stretch. So I want your palms flat on the door jamb, okay? And then feet are about a foot apart, depending on what feels comfortable for you. Sometimes I like to have both my feet together if I'm super flexible, but the wider out your feet are, the more stable you'll be for those like really, really tight tissues, okay? So hands up here, I'm gonna take a deep breath in. And move, that is my max right there. You see my hands kind of like moved out, so it's now more of my forearms that are holding me up right now. And then I'll try to go in deeper. I have almost no tension in my hands or my forearms and my chest right now. I'm really feeling the stretch through here, up through my clavicle, which is where I want it. And my right side is tighter, so I'm gonna adjust my feet. And like if I kick my hip up, that definitely gives me a good stretch. So I'm gonna stand so I'm a little more supported. Yeah, that feels really good through there. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to the opposite side. Notice how my upper body isn't doing the work, it's my legs and my hips. So if I move them in different directions, that is going to provide a different kind of stretch. if you're doing this hip movement and you are tensing up your low back, that can actually cause some stress in your low back. So you need to make sure that you are completely relaxed, that you are allowing your body to do what it needs to without tensing it up. Then if I play with some movement, that can help release it. And then go forward and see how far you can get forward. Oh my gosh, now I'm getting a really good forearm stretch too. Now, as I go more forward, so I wasn't gripping anything before, like my palms were flat and then they automatically just went out like this so that I could go forward. If you can go more forward, you will be gripping the wall eventually. So like this, okay? So that's fine. I don't want you to be there for a super long time because that can cause a lot of strain on your low back. Make sure that you're supporting yourself with your feet, like moving into it or not. So if I'm going here, and then if I move my feet forward instead of having them back pretty far, that helps out a lot. Okay, and that is a door jamb stretch. Okay, and now we're gonna do the rainbow pec stretch. Now, again, I need to reiterate, I know we've done a lot of pec stuff today, but it's super, super important because we do this. And I know I've said that a lot, but it just has to be said a few times so everybody gets that, okay? So you're gonna need to find a flat wall. Okay, you're gonna stand with your arm up. Find what feels good to you. So kind of like pay attention to how I'm paying attention to my body. So I am straight, right, with my arm. Perpendicular, I don't know, what's the right word for that? Anyway, let's see, if I go out, so I'm moving my feet out. So before they're facing the same direction as my body, now my feet are turning out to the right, and this is my left arm, okay? That feels like a crazy good stretch through here. So I'm gonna breathe in, like support myself so I don't feel like I'm having to hold my pelvis in a weird way. My feet are probably about 8 inches apart. Breathe deep. That's already starting to release, so that's good. Okay, now I want to get a different angle. So I'm going to go back. And if I move my body off and back to the side, that gives me a stretch all through here, okay? And then you'll walk and then go. So here, I know you can't see my arm, but seeing it stretching. I get a better stretch when I move forward with this. Again, it's your legs and your hips that are doing the work here. Nothing upper body is doing the work, okay? And then you're gonna go down again, like a rainbow. And nope, I don't wanna be here. Everything you're doing with your body, you should feel supported, you should feel stacked, you're not making these rotations or your low back isn't screaming at you. If your low back is screaming at you or parts of your back are, it's because your feet are maybe too close or they're too far apart or the angle of your feet isn't quite right. So play with your movement. You have complete control over this. You just need to figure out what feels good for your body and to play with those rotations. And then you'll just come out of it like that. So if you're in a hurry and you just need to stretch, so you'll go here and then create a rainbow. That one wasn't a very good stretch, so I'm gonna do this again. Just like that. Okay,